This Expedition 33 build allowed me to one-phase Simon in endgame with only level 70 characters before he even had the chance to attack me once. But what if I told you that the build that I'm going to show you in this video is an incredibly souped up version of that one that does like 30 times the damage? Well, this build utilizes Verso for stuns and gradient charge, MAELLE as an absolute nuke, and CL as a support. So let's hop into the in-depth build for all three characters, and then I'm going to show you guys how to use it properly. Starting with Verso and his weapon, you'll want to throw on Somoso. This is easily the most powerful weapon in the game because it quite literally doubles your skill damage, which is absolutely insane. But the only way to get this is by defeating Simon, who is an extremely late game boss and arguably the hardest boss in the game. So if you have not done that yet, or you're watching this video to find a build to do that, then Blowdam is the way to go. It makes it to where your perfection tier is based off of health, meaning the lower your health, the higher your perfection. This will make sense later, so don't worry. For his skills, we have follow-up to deal insane damage after hitting free aim shots, phantom stars to damage and break every enemy, and steeled strike for massive single target damage. For your pictos, try to follow what I have here on screen. Of course, you may substitute or add on whatever you'd like, depending on how much lumina you have. I only have about 250 lumina. We are obviously going to have pictos like Cheater, First Strike, Painted Power, and Energy Master on every single character. But here are the necessary pictos for Verso individually. You will want to have Sniper for double free aim damage and the ability to break on the first free aim shot of your turn, and to pair with that, Energizing Shots to gain AP when hitting free aim shots, Burning Shots to apply burn with free aim, and Marking Shots to apply mark with free aim. Alongside of all of that, we're going to try to generate as much gradient charge as possible. However, if you have not maxed out your reputation with MAELLE to get her Gommage gradient attack, these pictos are not necessary. We'll be using Charging Attack, Charging Burn, and Charging Stun. Charging Attack will pair with multiple combo attack pictos to gain lots of gradient on base attack. Charging Burn and Charging Stun generate gradient on applying burn and hitting attacks on stunned enemies. If done right, you'll be able to Gommage with MAELLE on her first turn, and I'll show you exactly how to do that at the end of the video. Now to pair with the combo attacks, you'll want Energizing Attack in order to regain AP on base attack. You can also use any of the debuffs on base attack pictos if you wish. So if you're using Somoso, these next pictos are not required, but when you're using Blowdam, you will need Auto Death and Survivor to put you at 1 health at the beginning of each fight so that your perfection starts at S tier no matter what. Now for his attributes, you'll want 99 might, 99 agility, and 99 defense for maximum damage and weapon scaling. But in New Game Plus as Gustav, you will unfortunately not have these abilities that Verso has, so all you really have to do is just spam free aim shots and it'll get the job done since it's early game. Now for most encounters besides like 2 in this entire game, you'll have already killed everything with Verso and be moving on to the next fight. But in the event that you don't, let's talk about MAELLE. For MAELLE, we'll be using the Metaloom weapon for that 200% damage buff with Virtuose at the start of each fight. For her skills, we'll be using Stendhal as our single target nuke, Phantom Strike for high damage on every enemy, and Last Chance to regain AP and apply Virtuose for 200% damage. MAELLE's pictos are actually very simple. She acts as a nuke, so all you have to do is apply the pictos that increase her damage. You'll definitely want Stun Boost for later because of Verso's break, but some of my favorite are Immaculate, Inverted Affinity, Glass Cannon, and At Death's Door. There are obviously more options and some substitutions, but try to copy what I've got on screen. For her attributes, we're going to have 99 might, 99 agility, and 99 defense for maximum damage and weapon scaling. Now, in some odd world where you haven't nuked everything that's ever existed with Verso and MAELLE, CL is here for you to make sure that you do that very soon. For her weapon, we're using Lithason in order to have better rush for your allies, better slow for your enemies, and more AP when applying a buff. For her skills, she really only has 2 that you need. Fortune's Fury to give MAELLE double damage on her next turn, and Intervention to immediately reset MAELLE's turns, meaning she gets to play 4 times before your enemies can even play once. Now for her pictos, hers are going to be very pivotal in this build. She's going to start off with Auto Death into Second Chance. Because of this, she will die at the beginning of the fight and then resurrect herself. To pair with this, we will use Breaking Death to fill the break bar of every enemy in the fight. This goes with Verso's Sniper ability, allowing him to break any enemy with 1 free aim shot every turn. We're also going to have Energizing Death to give 4 AP to each teammate, Burning Death to apply burn to every enemy, and Shielding Death in order to give shields to allies upon death. We'll then have Protecting Death to apply Shell to your teammates, then Powerful on Shell to grant Powerful since we're giving Shell on death, and then Rush on Powerful to stack on top of that to give Rush to your teammates after applying Powerful after applying Shell after death. Pretty confusing. You can then use Greater Powerful and Longer Shell on Verso and MAELLE if you wish, but you don't need to apply Greater Rush because CL's weapon already covers that. For her attributes, you will want 99 might, 99 agility, and 99 luck for the most damage and optimized weapon scaling. So now that the builds are out of the way, let's order our party. Your party's order is dictated by the order that they were selected in, so go ahead and get rid of everyone in your party besides Verso so he will start each fight, then then add MAELLE so she can play second, and then finally CL so she is last. Now that we have our order, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to use this build. So at the start of each game, CL will die and fill the break meters of every enemy and then apply burn to them. Then all allies will gain 4 AP, shell, shields, and powerful. Now it is Verso's turn. For his first turn, choose any enemy you want and shoot as many free aim shots into them as possible. If you'll notice, they will break on the first shot because of sniper, and every shot after that will increase your gradient charge and your perfection. Go ahead and deplete all of your AP, then hit a base attack. This should regain all of your AP for his next turn depending on how many combo attack pictos you have. I like to toss on 3. Now here, you can dump free aim shots into a different enemy in order to break them as well, or you can continue damaging your first enemy until you get down to 2 AP specifically. Why 2 AP, you may ask? Well, you will most likely have the S tier perfection, and from here, you can use the follow-up skill on any enemy for some disgusting damage, since it is only worth 2 AP if you have S tier perfection. Now, if done correctly, your gradient charge will already be at level 3, headed into MAELLE's turn. So here's what I like to do. Personally, I like using Stendhal first for some nasty single target damage, or Phantom Strike to eviscerate every enemy in play. Now these attacks will deal increased damage to the enemies that Verso broke because of the stun boost picto on MAELLE, so if you're using Stendhal, try to use it on an already stunned enemy. Now for her second turn, you have a few options. You can either use GOMMAGE here and reset Virtuose, or use Last Chance to reset Virtuose, regain AP, and save GOMMAGE until her next turn when she's buffed. Now it is CL's turn. First you'll want to use Fortune's Fury on MAELLE to double her damage for the next turn. On CL's second turn, use Intervention on MAELLE to force her to play, meaning MAELLE gets another 2 turns. Now that it's MAELLE's third turn, you have a few choices. You can use GOMMAGE if you saved it from last turn, which will most likely kill any enemy to ever exist, or you can just use Stendhal or Phantom Strike. Remember, she is doing double damage this turn because of CL's Fortune's Fury, so pick the enemy with the most health in order to absolutely nuke them. Now this should, in all reality, be the end of any fight if it didn't end already. In fact, this build was so good that I had to farm my clips for this video on the second to last stage of the Endless Tower because any other encounter was over before Verso's first turn ended. That is Aura. So now that is how to properly use the build to the best of its ability, and if you have any questions about this build, any substitutions for it, or just how to use it more in depth, please ask me in the comments because I am sure that I probably missed something or just forgot to talk about a certain picto, so I will gladly answer any questions y'all have. Remember though, there are other builds in this game that can work just as well as this one, but this is something that I've been working on for hours, so in my personal opinion, this is the best build in the game. I kinda just feel like a proud parent, you know? So with that being said though, I hope y'all enjoyed this build, and good luck.
I've lived through worse. I think I'll improvise. Phantom start.
Blades sharpened. Finesse and grace.
Here we go. Show me what you can do.
This will hurt.
I've lived through worse. Time to end this.
Anja.
Ready to strike. I'll manage.
The dance begins.